My name is Madison Lietaert, and I'm here to share day 8 of the 21 days of prayer and fasting. Today's verse is 2 Timothy 2:16, which says to avoid worthless, foolish talk that only leads to more godless behavior. In other translations of this verse, you may hear the words profane or idle, which mean without meaning or without impact. Now, to me, this verse is almost like God saying, are your conversations filled with meaningful, impactful topics that are centered around Him, or are they filled with topics that have no meaning and will leave no lasting impact and that are not centered around Him? This verse is a reminder that when we go into a conversation, it should be centered around God and His teachings, not around topics that lead us to nothing and that will grow us and impact us in no way at all. When we focus our conversations intentionally on the Lord and His teaching, we begin to behave in the way that He calls us to behave. But when we focus our conversations on worthless topics that aren't centered on Him, we begin to move away from the behavior that God calls us to. Now, if you're anything like me, you may be thinking it's hard to focus every conversation on Him, because maybe the person you're talking to doesn't want to talk about that. But one step could just be to intentionally have a conversation about the Lord and His teaching so that we can move closer to that behavior that He calls us to, and that we can center Him in our conversations in our daily life. So if you get anything out of this verse, just take it as to be careful of your conversations and of what you're saying, and intentionally choose to center Him and make Him a focus of your conversations.